Hello AP Seminar students. Last time we were together, I went over with you about how to write the references list for your IWA, and I also talked about revision exercise number 1, where our biggest concern on revision exercise number 1 was to get our word count close to 2,000. So those of you who were far under, we tried to get up to 2,000, and those of you who were far above, we tried to get you about 2,500. Now we're going to talk about the kinds of revisions that are needed that are going to make your paper score higher. So our next set of revisions begin here, revision exercise number 2 and number 3. So I'm going to talk about revision exercise number 2 right now, and I want you to see how this is organized, and once you see how it's organized, I hope it clears things up. So what we have here is you're going to have a chart that's available to you in Google Classroom, and you'll see that the chart in this column right here has the language of the scoring rubric. This is the language that the College Board uses to evaluate what's inside your IWA. So what I do is I try to take this language of the scoring rubric, which is sometimes very elevated, and try to make it more accessible to you. So I want you to pay attention to how we've got this broken down into different sections. Section A, Section B, Section C, and Section D. Your job is to read all the way across for Section A. Okay, this is how the College Board describes it. This is what Mr. DeKnight says I should pay attention to. And what I want you to do is, as you're reading over this, think about your own IWA and think, hey, did I do that? Could I have done a better job on that? Because your job, after you look at all of this information on how to make your IWA better, your job is to come up with four revision ideas, very concrete things that you're going to do to your IWA, and then resubmit it to me. You're going to show me, hey, Mr. Knight, I got my word count at a certain point on a previous exercise, but now I'm working on doing these things right here. So over here in the far right column, sometimes we have some samples of what the writing could look like. We sometimes have sentence starters that would help you show that you're meeting some of the rubric criteria. Sometimes we give you transition expressions that you might want to use. But your job is to read through this whole document, and again, it goes A, B, C, and D, to come up with 4 ideas for revision. Now, once you come up with those 4 ideas for revision, inside Google Classroom, you're going to be directed to open up this worksheet. It simply reviews the instructions like I just described them to you, but then it asks you in this chart right here to write down what are at least 4 things that you're going to do to your IWA to make it better. Now notice I've given you space to do more than 4. Some of you might decide to do 5 or 6 or 7. Your job is, you've worked so hard at AP Seminar that you want this work to reflect best on you, so you want to score high on it. So after you list for me, these are the things I'm going to do. You're going to tell me, where did you make these changes? In the introduction, in the body paragraph, in counter argument 1? Did you make it in the solution or references section? And then inside your actual IWA, you're going to highlight to show me that you made these changes. You're going to resubmit your IWA to me. You're going to submit this little worksheet here. And then I'm going to look at the worksheet. I'm going to look at your new IWA and see, did you really make these changes that you were thinking about? Okay, so that wraps it up for revision exercise number 2.